Can I ask you a question? Are you financially stable or are you financially prepared? Because they're not the same thing. Hi, my name is Yulin Lee. As a money empowerment coach and a spiritual mentor, I have worked with hundreds of women who feel like they're doing fine. In fact, they feel like they're doing great. They're making good income, they're paying their bills, they're going on nice vacations, and everything seems to be fine right now. But when we start talking deeper into about what's coming up for them in the next chapter of their lives, retirement, caring for aging parents, dealing with unexpected life events, they start to realize, oh, well, maybe I am doing fine right now, but I may not be as prepared for tomorrow as I was assuming. And so in this video, I want to take you deep into exploring the difference between being financially stable and then being financially prepared, and why it's so important and it matters more than you think. And at the end, I will give you 3 questions that you can ask yourself to know whether you are truly financially prepared. So first, let's talk about what I call the illusion, right? The illusion that when everything is going well, again, you're having income coming in, you're paying your bills, you're going on nice vacations, and it's so normal and it's so human that when things are going well, we like to stay in that space. We like to not think about anything else, right? But here's the thing, life will always throw us curveballs. And this is not about spreading fear, but this is really more about how can we create our life in a way that we can better weather whatever comes at us, right? Think about how much less stress we would have if we were in a better position, prepared for those unforeseen things. And so the question is then, when I say financially prepared, you might ask, well, prepared for what? So let's talk about prepared for what. Let's talk about those scenarios. Well, are you prepared for retirement if you're a woman in midlife? And when I say retirement, it doesn't just mean that when you turn 65. When I say retirement, it's when you can stop working for money. So no matter what age you are today, the question is, are you prepared to stop working for money? Because our body is getting older and we may get more tired, and you may also want to be able to, travel even more or just taking some time off. Are you able and are you prepared to be able to do that, right? So that's one scenario. The other scenario is that in midlife, so many people are going through changes in their lives, like, breaking up a marriage, or your kids going off to college and they need a different level of support. Or it could be your aging parents that's currently needing more help now, both physically and then financially perhaps, and I'm sure emotionally as well. And so all of these things are impacting how we are going to be living our own life and the quality of life going forward. And so this video is really about reminding everyone that just because everything is going well now doesn't necessarily mean it will stay this way unless we actually put systems in place, unless we put a foundation in place that we know for sure when things happen, we'll be fine. So essentially, we have been mistaken the absence of financial stress for financial preparedness. Again, just because nothing is wrong now doesn't mean everything is right. So essentially, financial preparedness isn't about having the most money that you can, but it's more about having enough clarity, confidence, habits, and options that your future isn't dependent on everything stays the same as it is today. So my goal isn't to spread fear, but is to help you create a future where whatever happens, you'll be fine. Now, I want to share a story about my own experience, and to really illustrate this point and why I care so much about this as well, and for myself and for you as well. I lost my parents in a span of 4 years. When my mom first passed away in 2018, it completely shattered my world. And so I ended up taking a whole year off to not only dealing with my own grief, but also taking care of my dad at the time. And I literally just said, you know what, I'm not going to work because I really need to deal with this. 4 years later, my dad passed away. And again, I did the same thing. I took 6 months off, both for my own grieving process, but also taking care of the whole aftermath now that both of my parents are gone. And at that time, I really thought about how lucky I was to be able to just take time off, and that I didn't have any financial pressure and worrying about if I take time off, I wouldn't be able to pay my bills. And so I even thought to myself, wow, I can't imagine the people out there who are also dealing with the same thing that I have been dealing with, with the loss of their parents or somebody else in their family, having to deal with the grief and all the aftermath and still can't take time off. They still have to keep the work because they need the money to pay the bills. And so that is what I really want for everyone, is to be able to stay in a place where you can have the option and the freedom to say, you know what, I am fine if I take a year off or 2 years off, or I am fine to stop working today for money, even if I love what I do. But the difference is I get to choose when I stop. Okay, so that's why I care so much about this topic. And then also, here are 3 questions for you to think about to determine whether you are truly financially prepared. Here's the first question. If my income or our income, household income, stopped tomorrow, would my life have to change? Will I still be able to do all the things I am doing right now? Will I still be able to maintain the same lifestyle that I have today? Will I be able to take care of my aging parents or my growing kids? Question number 2, do I know what the next chapter of my life cost? Because if you don't know what your retirement life will cost, how would you even know whether you are ready for it? Also, by not knowing that number, you don't have a target to shoot for. And that's also the reason why so many people are living their life from month to month, thinking everything is fine, I'm not worrying about tomorrow, because they actually don't have a target for tomorrow, right? And when they don't have a target, it's easier to just kind of slip by. And question number 3, could I make a major life decision simply because I want to, not because I have to? So for example, could I decide to retire today if I choose to? Or could I leave this unhappy marriage if I choose to tomorrow? And those are very, very significant life questions that if you're able to answer that, imagine how powerful that you can live your life on a day-to-day basis. So if you can't confidently answer these 3 questions with a definite yes, then my advice is start working on those 3 things. And if you need help to get these 3 questions answered in a way that you will be satisfied, your future self will be happy, reach out. You can schedule a complimentary strategy session with me. The link is in the description below, and I would love to help you with designing your future.